Okay, so today we're diving into Joseph Roth's final major work. It came out posthumously in 1939, La Leggenda del Santo Bevitore, or The Legend of the Holy Drinker.
Yeah, it's a really incredibly powerful novella
Hmm.
and very autobiographical. Our sources really point to how it reflects Roth's own experience in his last years.
That phrase, straziata dispersione, painful scattering.
Exactly, that sense of fragmentation, being in exile in Paris, and sort of paradoxically finding this, what's been called the supreme ultimate lucidity in alcohol.
Wow. So the book is kind of his working through all that failure, maybe grace.
I think so. And he puts it all onto this character, Andreas Kartak.
Right, Andres, it's 1934, Paris. He's Polish, Silesian, used to be a miner. Now he's a vagabond.
Living under the bridges along the Seine. And important detail, he's just out of prison. Served 2 years.
Why was he in prison again?
He killed the husband of his former lover, Caroline. Apparently the husband was violent, so Andreas is really starting from rock bottom here.
And then something happens that kicks the whole story off.
Right. This mysterious gentleman, very respectable looking, just gives Andreas 200 francs. Out of the blue.
Which is a lot of money for someone in his position.
Absolutely. But it's not a gift, exactly. It comes with a condition, a promise. Andreas swears he'll repay the money
How?
by making an offering at the local church, Ste Marie de Batignolles, specifically to the statue of the little saint, Thérèse of Lisieux.
Okay, so that's the setup, the promise. And the story follows him trying to fulfill it.
Yes, and this is where it gets fascinating. The narrative calls what happens next a series of miracles. Fate just keeps handing him the money he needs.
Like actual miracles. Or just good luck.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? First, he immediately finds work with this exceptionally fat bourgeois guy, earns exactly 200 francs.
Okay, there's the money. Debt paid.
You'd think. But no. Then he buys a wallet, like a used one, and inside, a 1,000 franc note.
Whoa. Okay, now he can definitely pay it back.
And there's more. His old friend Konjak, a rich and famous footballer, spots him, cleans him up, gives him clothes, more money. It's like the universe is shouting at him, go pay the saint. But he doesn't. He doesn't. He gets sidetracked. Roth uses this phrase, amori vizi vecchi amicizi. Loves, vices, old friendships, the temptations of the world.
So the money keeps slipping through his fingers.
Every single time. He bumps into Caroline again, the old lover, sees her looking pale, swollen. They have a brief thing that he just leaves furtively.
And there was another woman, Gabby.
Yeah, a dancer named Gabby. She ends up taking a chunk of his money, too. And Andreas just kind of shrugs it off. You know, his rationale is basically pleasure is paid for.
So the promise to Saint Therese keeps getting pushed aside.
Completely. And the last straw, really, is an old friend, though friend might be generous. The text calls him a scracone, like a moocher, and gets him drunk, and steals the money Andreas had specifically set aside for the church this time.
Yeah.
It's just one failure after another.
It sounds relentlessly bleak, just this cycle of hope and failure.
It is bleak in one sense, but the core of the story, I think, is about Andreas's dignity, even in total degradation.
How so?
Well, remember when the gentleman first gives him the money, Andreas insists, even though he's homeless, I am a man of word. I do not possess an address. Almost every day I live under this or that bridge. He insists on his honor.
Ah, right. His hound is all he has left.
Exactly. And that ties directly back to Roth himself, doesn't it? Both exiles from this lost empire, the Habsburg Empire, both struggling with alcohol.
And that critique you mentioned, that the story is just a drunken bout of self-observation.
Yeah, some saw it that way.
Mhm.
But you could also read it as Roth arguing that intrinsic worth, that inner dignity, can survive even when everything external, your country, your sobriety, your home, is gone.
So how does it end? Does he ever repay the debt?
Well, the cycle repeats one last time. The same mysterious gentleman appears again.
Gives him another 200 francs.
Gives him another 200 francs. And this time, Andreas heads straight for the church. Ste Marie de Batignolles. He's going to do it. He's going to pay Saint Therese. He gets inside the church. He's almost there. But before he can actually make the offering, he collapses. He dies.
He dies without repaying the money.
Without physically placing the money. But the final line is everything. It goes, Voglia Dio concedere a tutti noi, a noi bevitori, una morte tanto lieve e bella.
May God grant all of us, we drinkers, a death so light and beautiful.
Yeah. So the legend isn't about succeeding in the conventional sense. Maybe the intention, the final act of trying to fulfill the vow, is the repayment. His death becomes the offering.
That's quite something. And this story really resonated, didn't it? The film version.
Oh, absolutely. The 1989 film by Ermanno Olmi with Rutger Hauer as Andreas. It won the Golden Lion of Venice. Really beautiful adaptation, captures that mood perfectly.
So the big question hanging over it all is that title, The Legend of the Holy Drinker. How can this life of, let's face it, failure and a Terran become holy?
That's the paradox Roth leaves us with, isn't it? Maybe holiness isn't about perfection. Maybe it's about that stubborn insistence on dignity, on being a person of your word, even when you fail repeatedly. What does that mean, really, when you've got nothing left to lose except your word?
A lot to think about there.